Yes, ma'am.
Political divisions of Australia. The country is divided into 6 states or territories. Okay, let's see which are the 6 states and the territories. Number 1, Southern Australia. Number 2, Western Australia. Number 3, New South Wales. Number 4, Queensland. Number 5, Victoria. And number 6, Tasmania. Okay, so the entire Australia is divided into these 6 states, or you can call it as 6 territories also. Kindly underline in your textbooks, children. If you will see the map, can you just click on the map, please? If you will see the map, all these 6 territories are marked with different colors. Can you see, children? Is it visible, all the 6 states or the
Yes,
territories?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next. And 2 self-governing territories. Which are the 2 self-governing territories of Australia? Number 1, Northern Territory, and number 2,
Northern Tree and Australian
Capital Territory. Where is it? Can you show it on the map? Where is the Northern Territory?
And the Northern
Ma'am, in the
Territory is over
yellow.
here. The
Yes,
yellow one.
and next is Australian Capital Territory.
Ma'am, it's there where Canberra is.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So these are called, these are what? 2 self-governing territories among all this. Got it, everyone? Next, Dash is the capital city of Australia. Which is the capital city?
Canberra.
Canberra. Can you just make out where is Canberra located on the map given?
I'm over here.
It is in the Australian Capital
Can you see the
Territory.
arrow given?
I'm over
Okay.
here.
Children, please underline in your textbook. You might get an objective question based upon this. Dash is the capital city of Australia, or you might even get an objective question to name the 6 states in which the entire Australia, the country, is divided into, or you might get a question to name 2 self-governing territories of Australia. Okay, so this entire paragraph you might get for an objective question. Let us see what are the different questions given in session. Yes, Mariam.
Ma'am, Southern Australia, Western Australia, New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, Tasmania, Northern Territory, and Australian Capital Territory.
Yes, very good, very good.
Next page is this.
Okay, now let us study about the physical divisions of Australia. As we just saw that about the political divisions of Australia, that it is divided into 6 states, and we also saw the capital city of Australia, right? Now let us study about the physical divisions of Australia. Australia has a fairly flat land. Please underline. Australia has a fairly dash land. So what will be the answer? Flat land. It does not have high mountains or plateaus. It can be divided into 4 broad physical divisions from east to west. So what are the 4 divisions of Australia? Number 1, Eastern Coastal Plains. Number 2, Eastern Highlands. Number 3, Central Lowlands. And number 4, Western Plateau. So let us now, please remember all these 4 divisions. Now we are going to study about these 4 divisions in detail, each of this. But you might definitely get a question, an objective question based upon this. They might ask you, name the four broad physical divisions of Australia. So what would be the answer? Who will name?
Eastern Coastal Plains,
Highlands,
Central
Lowlands, Western Plateau.
Okay, clear everyone? Have you all understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now can we just have a look at the map and understand where it is located? See, can you see first Eastern Coastal Plains?
Yes, ma'am.
Second, on the map, just figure out. Second is Eastern Highlands. Can you see this? Right next, towards your right hand side? Yes, can you see the cursor? Next, Central Lowlands. Take the cursor over there, beta. Yes. Next, Western Plateau. Yes. All right. So see the location where it is located. Now, let us study about the Eastern Coastal Plains in detail. These plains form a narrow strip of fertile farmland in the east that receives plenty of rainfall. If you will see the in the picture given even in your textbook, can you see how a narrow strip is formed on these particular plains which receives, why it is formed in this way? Because it receives plenty of rainfall. This area is drained by several short, rapid flowing rivers that have their sources in the eastern highlands. Okay. Can you see, children, in the map it is given? Can you see the eastern highlands? Can you see how it is marked on the map? Is it visible?
Should I open the map?
No. You have the map even in your text. So refer to the textbook.
Visible.
Okay. Next, these rivers flow from the Pacific Ocean. So first, what is the peculiar thing about the eastern coastal plains? First thing is that it receives plenty of rainfall. Please underline. These and what does eastern coastal plains are formed of? They are formed with a narrow strip of fertile farmland. Please underline that. These are the pointers, highlighters, which you need to, keywords you can say, which you need to remember. Next, the rivers, they flow into which direction in the eastern coastal
Ma'am, in the
plains?
east direction.
Into the Pacific Ocean. Please underline that. Now, Nullarbor Plain is another fertile coastal plain found in the south. Okay, so one plain which is found over here is the eastern coast, and the other is, please underline, the Nullarbor Plain. It is again, it is the one which has fertile land, and where it is found? Usually it is found in the south. Just underline the word, the plain, name of the word plain, so that you know this is the keyword which you need to remember. Have you understood about the eastern coastal plains, children? Let me ask you a few questions so that I'm satisfied whether you've understood or not. First thing, the eastern coastal plain. What are the peculiarities about it?
It receives plenty of
rainfall. Form a narrow strip of fertile
These rivers
farmland.
flow into the Pacific
And the rivers flow into the Pacific Ocean.
The Nullarbor Plain is another fertile coastal plain found in the south.
Okay, so you just underline the word, the name of the plain. You might get it for objective question, either for a fill in the blank also. Is it time?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Eastern coastal plains. Okay, now let us see the eastern highlands. Can you just show where eastern highlands are on the map for 2 minutes, please? Let us see the location first, and then we will read. Can you see the eastern highlands?
Yes, ma'am.
It is just above the coastal plains. All right. Now let us study in more detail about the eastern highlands. The eastern highlands, or the Great Dividing Range. So this is the other name. It is not that it will always be mentioned as Eastern Highland. The other name for Eastern Highland, it is also called as the Great Dividing Range. Okay. Run parallel to the eastern and the southeastern coast and extend from the peninsula of Cape York in the north to the Bass Strait in the south. So if you will see in your map, in the textbook given, Can you see the highlines? Highlines given. Can you see the highlines marked in the map? So what is peculiar? First thing is it runs parallel. Okay. To what? To the eastern and the southeastern coast. Okay. And what? It is extended from which point to which point?
Ma'am, to peninsula of Cape Cod to the
Which
Bass
point?
Strait.
In the north.
Not to the base
First-
straight in the south.
In the north, it extends from the peninsula of
Peninsula.
Cape to the
Base Strait.
Strait in the south. Okay, so this is the location about the Eastern Highlands. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
They are also called the Great Dividing Range. Please, I told you the other name of Eastern Highland is the Great Dividing Range, right? So you have to remember the other name. But here you might get a give reason for this. Why it is also called as a Great Dividing Range? Let us see. Because they separate the eastern coastal plains from the central lowlands. Only that much. Just underline from because. Highlight just from because. So you know the reason why it is called as the Great Dividing Range, because it divides what? The
The eastern coastal plain
Plains from the
the
central
central lowland.
lowland. That is why it is called as the dividing range.
Dividing.
Clear?
Great.
Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. They have a steep slopes on the east coast and gentle slopes towards the west. So we are all describing about the Eastern Highlands. So where it is having steep slopes? Which place?
East.
Ma'am,
On the
in
east.
On the east coast, it has just underline the keywords, not the entire sentence. Steep
Okay,
slopes,
ma'am.
underline eastern coast. Gentle slope, west. Just
West.
the keywords.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us see about the height of these highlands. Okay. The height of these mountains is between dash to dash meters.
300 meters to
to
1,500.
1,500 meters.
Okay. 300 meters to 1,500 meters is the height. Now, Mount Kosciuszko, that is 2,228 meters, is the highest peak. Just underline the name of the mountain. You might get that. Dash is the highest peak. Which is the highest peak over here in the highlands?
Mount
Mount
Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko.
Mount Kosciuszko. Please repeat.
Mount
Mount
Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko.
Okay, is the highest peak. Now, the southeastern mountains, which are much higher than the others, are called as dash. It is called as the
Australian Alps.
Australian Alps.
Just underline the keyword Australian Alps. So you know that, okay, what are called as the southeastern mountains, which are much higher than others? What are they
Australian
called
Alps.
as?
Australian Alps.
Alps.
And these particular Australian Alps are usually covered with snow during the winter. Don't underline the entire sentence. Okay, this is also fine. Many rivers originate in these mountains, including dash and dash.
Murray and
Murray
Darling.
And
Darling.
Darling.
The Murray and the Darling. Okay. Got it? Everyone understood, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
There are
ma'am.
lots of objective type questions from this particular paragraph. So let me just ask you few questions so that you know I am also satisfied whether you've understood or not. Ready, everyone? Shall I ask?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Eastern Highlands is also called as dash.
Dividing range.
Why it is called as the Great Dividing Range?
Because
Because
it
it
separates the eastern coastal
coastal
plains from the
the
central
central
lowlands.
lowlands.
Okay. Which direction it has steep slope and which direction it has gentle slope?
Steep slope
Steep
from
slopes
the
in the
east
east
coast and
and
gentle slope
towards the west.
towards the west.
Okay. Which mountain has the highest peak?
Mount
Cosquico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear. Now next, the southeastern mountains which are much higher. They are called as what?
Australian Alps.
And these Australian Alps are covered with what during winter?
Snow.
Okay. There are many rivers which flows through these highlands. Which are the two? Can you name any two?
Murray and
Gray
Darling.
and Darling.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions till here?
No, no,
No
ma'am.
questions? Everybody understood till here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No, not everybody is not saying yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone
Yes,
understood?
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm satisfied. Next is the central lowlands. Shall I start this topic? Everyone
Yes.
is ready?
Ma'am, but